So pretend you're me. You feel like the odd one out because you're the only one that can see the apparently elusive connections between art and maths. Maybe you're just crazy, but you still have some gut feeling that there must be a connection. So you make up your mind to go and find out if you're right, which unfortunately involves being kicked out of art for doing maths and being kicked out of maths for doing art. Why don't they offer a combined subject? That would make your life so much easier. A subject called Mart or Art would be fantastic. Why shouldn't you draw faces in maths and fractals in art? But then along came research project. You can do whatever you want. The choices. Of course, the opportunity to do both maths and art together is just too good to pass up. Where to start? First, you think you should check if there's been anyone else who has done this before. You go to the all-knowing Google for help. Is there anyone else like me? Yes, there is. MC Escher. You think you would definitely marry Escher if he was alive, not 116 years old, and if you were planning a wedding for RP, but you're not. So instead, you send thanks in his direction. He did all these cool artworks expressing ideas that confuse mathematicians like infinity and drawing things that confuse everyone like paradoxes. Pretty awesome guy. And he actually wasn't that good at maths in school, which is interesting since he is now one of the most famous math artists in the world. Right, so what about artists that use maths to support their artworks rather than artists that do artworks about maths? You're totally stuck with that one in class, so you like the nerd you are, you pick up your book and read it for a while to distract yourself. The Da Vinci Code. Action and symbols and mysteries and paintings. The always intriguing Mona Lisa, which is actually a tiny painting and hung on the wall in some royal French guy's bathroom for years. The controversial Last Supper. Jesus sitting next to a boy or a girl? He certainly looks like a girl. Wait. Surely these artworks can't possibly have connections to maths. They're all just people. They wouldn't have maths in. Wait, let me check. In the Last Supper, if you draw on all the main horizontal lines in the painting, so the ceiling and the table, wait, this is really weird. All the pieces of bread lie along this one line. And if you draw a horizontal line at Jesus' chest height, nearly all the hands lie along the line. And then all the vertical lines, the back wall. If you follow the lines for the walls, a lot of them line up to the feet underneath the table. That can't be a coincidence. If you follow the diagonal lines at the top of the painting that are on the ceiling, they all line up to Jesus' face. All of them. That's the vanishing point. Seeing as this painting is 15 feet high and 29 feet wide with a vantage point of 40 feet, it's impossible that Da Vinci did not use these guidelines at least to get the rest of the painting right? Otherwise it would have turned out really weird and skewed with a strange vanishing point somewhere over here. What about the Mona Lisa? That's another of Da Vinci's famous artworks, right? There are lots of questions about this painting, about the horizon line, about the femininity of Mona Lisa herself, but what if you just draw a box around her face like this? It lines up with the chin and the top of her head. The long length is 6.9 and the short is 4.1. If you divide them by each other, you get 1.6. Wait, you know that number. That's phi, and this is a golden rectangle. You can actually make a golden rectangle with just grid paper, just adding another square again and again with side lengths equal to the long side of the previous rectangle. Then you trace a spiral line around it going from corner to corner. So, if you do the same to Mona Lisa, adding squares in the middle and on the outside of that rectangle, making sure your squares are all going in one direction, then drawing a spiral over the picture, look, it perfectly frames the side of her face. Finally, you look at what you've been taught in your art and math classes. What about drawing a face? If you say there's not much maths in that, you're actually wrong. You can draw the proportions of a face with everything relative to the eye. You could practically use a formula. The head is 7 eyes long and 5 eyes wide, with the line for the eyes at halfway. The nose is 1.5 eyes long from the eye line. From the bottom of the nose to the bottom lip is a bit more than 1 eye. The mouth varies, but around 1.5 eyes is about right. From the corner of the mouth to the jawline is 1 eye. From the center of the nose to the cheek is about 2 eyes or a bit more. And there you have a perfectly proportioned face. It's fascinating. Even Sierpinski's triangle is artistic. Being an admirer of art, you would salute any artist that draws an infinite amount of lines, but it seems that someone already has. Sierpinski's triangle is an infinite amount of lines inside a closed shape. It just goes on forever, triangle after triangle. If that's not an example of maths used in art, you're not sure what is. So now you have proof. You can return to your classes with your head held high, knowing that you've solved the mystery. You've completed your research project, and now you only have to catch up on the subjects you neglected whilst doodling in class. Maths and art really do go hand in hand. Mission accomplished.